Hello friends, welcome to part 2. I'll pin a link to part 1. I'll pin a link in the comments. So in case you want to see part 1. Okay, so in part 1, we cleaned everything up. We cleaned off the top end. I cleaned off under here. And then I ended up tilting the tractor back. I just put a block under the snowplow in case any oil was going to drip out of the seal. Even if I didn't put it on the tilt, it usually will leak out of the seal here. Okay, so today there's no leak in the seal, but we did find that this the lower end crankcase is a 2-piece crankcase. Now, when I changed the engine on it, we had no business splitting the case or anything like that. There is this one stud here with a nut. I think there's a washer too. That was loose. That was backed off about 4 or 5 threads. So I tightened that up and did some more cleaning, and we cleaned this real good. Okay, now here, this is an existing stain here and an existing stain here. The only thing I found was this little stripe of stain here, and I know that wasn't there, but I went under here with my hand and I felt around and I feel any blobs of oil. It could have been some residual from when we cleaned the top end with the brake clean. I don't know, I'm not sure. We're kind of going to leave this at that. I'm going to put it back together. When I first got the tractor, it had a problem with the high-low gear here. Okay, so when it was in low gear, it would bog down, want to stall, ran hot. It did stall. So I took the engine off. I changed the planetary gear. Okay, then we were done with that, and it had a loss of compression. You can see it spraying out towards the front here. I figured it was the head gasket. There's a video on all this stuff. I figured it was a head gasket. We changed the head gasket, still the same thing. Come to find out that the cylinder was cracked. Then we changed the engine over, and we put this engine on it, and we did a whole bunch of stuff to this. It didn't have spark when we first got it. Corrected that problem, cleaned out the carburetor, and the list goes on and on with this. I'm kind of tired of this tractor now. I'm kind of sick of it. If you noticed, it had the orange hood on it. I painted it orange, and I had my Bravely Man decals on the sides and in the front. Now, when we bought the two 1957 Graveleys, these are the next two this is the next project coming up. The other one's for sale, but I haven't been pushing it to sell it. I have an idea to what I want to do, because spring is coming, and I want to put this brush hog most likely on that. I'll sell it with the brush hog on it, and the snowplow will come with the tractor also. Okay, so this 57 here had the wrong hood on it, and let's take a walk down here. What we're going to do today, I don't know if it's the exact right hood, but it's close enough, because the Gravely we are working on with the oil leak is a super convertible. That 1957 tractor is not a super convertible. They didn't even have a name for them, I don't think, then. It just had the hood. I'm going to show you that we're going to use on that restoration. So I cleaned the hood up real good, the inside, and yeah, it was really disgusting. It was real thick of dirt on there, and I degreased it. I scrubbed it down. The hood came out pretty decent for what we're putting it on there, and we're going to be putting this hood back on it, and we're kind of done with this thing, and that's it. So as I was saying before, I changed the oil when we first got it. When we changed the engine, I didn't change the oil. I'm pretty sure I didn't after we did the engine on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the oil on it. Now, you know what we're going to do first? I'm going to put the whole thing back together here. And we're going to run it again right now and see if we see anything dripping for now. And then I'll leave the old oil in it. We won't change the oil. And then in the meantime, maybe on this video, we'll change the hood on it and stick the hood on back, you know, put what I think to be the right hood back on this. I want to put straight 30 weight oil in it. I'm having a hard time at Walmart trying to find the right oil anymore. So what I'm going to do, I bought 2050. I wanted to get quarts, but it only came in like 5 quarts. And I'm going to do that. We'll change the oil. I'm going to leave the snow plow on it because it's like March 9th right now. And you never know what happens in March. It might snow again. And I may use this to plow again. But I guess around April 1st, I'm going to take the plow off. I'm going to take the dual wheels off. I'm going to stick these wheels on the inside. Leave the dual wheels off it. And we'll put my mower deck on it. And we just keep on, we'll use this and see how the oil leak situation goes. But I don't know. This is kind of high here where the thread and the nut is, because this sat for a month and it didn't leak any oil. I mean, it did leak oil, you know, after a month. And I think that's too high. I think the oil level should be down here when you're not running it. But I really don't know what's going on. So, like I said, it's out for 4 days now, because they rained every day anyway. And this is what we ended up with right here. Crazy. So the only reason why I'm going crazy with this tractor is that it's a super convertible, which means it has the high speed, low speed, and it has a two-speed differential. So that means it has 8 speeds, 4 forward, 4 reverse. Okay, I got set up, so we're going to throw this thing back together right now. Okay, so I had in stock for the 57 here. This is a model LI, which means it's an intermediate speed, but it just has low and high. It doesn't have a 2-speed differential. So I dug this hood out that I had, and it even has the battery tray. So when we go to restore this, it's going to, we're going to strip all the paint off the hood and everything, except for the tank. Those of you that follow me know what the story was with this tank. I think this tractor came with no tank at all. What else? It's not going to be this color. I'm going to go with a cherry red Rust-Oleum. The only thing about the hood is this. Like when we had that other hood on here, you know, it cleared this. But now with this hood here, it's probably going to hit this before it closes. I don't know, because this is the tractor I'm keeping with the generator on it. I don't know if you call this a regulator or what you call it. I don't know anything about generators right now. So far what I did was, I'm going to put it back together, but I'm going to leave the hitch off. Okay, so there was there's 2 bolts that hold the hitch on and go in from the side. That's where we use the 3/4 inch socket. I put those bolts in already. So what we'll do is we're going to get the fan belt pulley back on, and then we'll put the starter clutch back on. I'm going to put these 2 nuts on here. Like, remember those brackets? I'll put these back on here for support. And then the one on the left side here, it'll be your left side. That one bolt, the nut, I'm going to put that one back on because it holds the whole assembly part of it, and also the governor, the belt tensioner. So we'll put that back on too. I guess that's about all I have to say about this. So I figured since summer's coming anyway, that's why I'm going to put the 2050 oil in. I don't know what kind of oil I put in it last time. I don't know if I put the 1030 in it. I don't know. I don't remember. But, alright, so let me get set up on the tripod here and we'll continue. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put the key back into the crankshaft here. Just give it a couple of taps to make sure it's in there good. Yeah, well, not really. I think it's in there already. I might try to put the belt on and put the pulley on with the belt on there. See how that works out. If not, I'll just jump the belt back on because we don't have any tension on the belt because we took the tension away when we pulled the governor back. So you want to make sure you don't put this on backwards. See all the holes there? I guess those holes are for weight. So the pulley's balanced, I would say. Like I said, if this is going to be a pain, I'm just going to jump the belt back on it when we get to that point. Oh, good, we're good with that. Give it a couple taps here. So we're good with that. Next, I could adjust the belt now, but I'd rather tighten up. Well, let's tighten up the belt now, I guess. There's no harm in doing that now. Now I'll put the one nut on here. Like I said, the bracket, this is to hold the bracket on as well, but we're going to leave the tow hitch off it. And then I'm going to most likely I'll let it run. We'll start it up on camera. And then I'll just shut the camera off. I'm just going to let it run for about a half hour. And I'll put the wood under there. While it's running, I could put a lot of this stuff away here. Because it's a mess out here. I had to pull a lot of stuff out so I could get the hood and the battery mount for the 57 Gravely. You don't want to make this... I don't like making anything too tight on this. There's all these bearings in here for the fan pulley. Oh, they're old. Since 1973. So. Okay. 3/4 inch socket I'm using for these nuts. And don't forget, we have that 1/2 inch. I can actually use the socket on here now. Usually when I have the starter clutch on there, you gotta use a wrench. But we gotta tighten this up too. So since I have a wrench handy here, we just use a wrench for that. Incidentally, while I was back here and everything, the oil lines, I made sure they were tight too, which they were. So there was no problem with that. Now I just screw this thing on here. A lot of you guys like the rope trick I did in the comments on part 1. I would really love to have the right socket for this though still. What I usually do with this, I'm going to have to go around the other side to do it. Just give it a couple. These things tighten up like crazy, even though you don't think you have it tight. They end up being really tight. They tighten up, as you saw. That's good. That should be fine. So I think leaving the tow hitch off will be easier, because if we get any more oil drops or puddles on the cardboard I'm going to put under here after I put it away, it'll be much easier for me to just feel under there and everything. I'm going to have to go around the other side and tighten that up. Okay, so we got to this point here. I'm going to tighten up the starter chain, adjust it, make sure that's fine. And then we'll start it up. I'll let it run. I'll put the piece of plywood back under here and see what happens. I don't know. Yeah. Alright, so let me shut you off and then I'll be right back. Okay, I know where all the old stains are on the plywood there. So then I'll start it up and then I'll be back to you in about a half hour. Well, not for you, it won't be a half hour, but I'm going to let the machine run a half hour and get the oil good and hot. Oh yeah, and I noticed too, the oil pressure. It had pretty good oil pressure when I started up, but I noticed the last time when we were checking this thing out that the oil pressure went down to like almost in the low position, but it was still in the medium. You know, I don't know if the oil's thinned out or what, but like I said, we're going to change the oil anyway. I'm not worried about that right now. The only thing we have to worry about is a leak. Gotta hook up the spark plug wire. Yeah, very important that you disconnect the spark plug wire, because you know how I put that belt pulley on, right? I went to jump one on once and the machine almost started up on me. But yeah, very important that you disconnect that. Choke it. Okay, so I had it running 40 minutes. You saw the oil pressure gauge came down. Usually does that if you're using the tractor and you're putting a real stress on it, and then the oil will thin out, and then it'll the oil pressure will come down, you know. But we haven't been doing anything with it. It's just been sitting here. So okay, so we're gonna go ahead and change the oil to. All right, so while it was running, nothing. This stain was here already. That was there already. So I don't see nothing here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to let it sit here. Let all the oil settle back down. Oh yeah, I haven't checked anything on the top end here either. This is going to be hard to figure out since we're not putting the stress on it. You know? Oh yeah, I put these shields back on. They were a pain, so I didn't film that. Because it's much easier to do when the carburetor and all the governor linkage is off to do it. But somehow I was able to weasel them in. The two screws on this side. This side's not bad at all to put the heat deflectors back on. So yeah, it's pretty hot. I can feel the heat coming off it. I don't smell any oil, so that's a good sign right here. So I'm just gonna let it sit here like this for just as a matter of fact. You know what I'm going to do? It's the end of the day now. Well, for me anyway. I'm gonna pull the tractor back in, and then we'll check it again in a couple of days, and then I'll come back to you. I'll see how long this video is, then I'll come back to you. I'll put the tow bar on off camera, but I think we're gonna switch the hoods. Well, I'm gonna put the hood on this. Maybe I'll film that. I'll film it if this video is not too long right now. And the main thing, like I said, I want to just make sure that it doesn't leak oil. So it was very possible that that stud with the nut that was loose I was talking about before, possible it was coming out of there. But we'll see what happens. Well, it's been a few days now, and we don't have one drop of oil that leaked here. So I'm going to back out 3 of the tractors, one of which will be the 57 Gravely, and I'll have to pull a battery tray off that to put on this. And in the meantime, I'm going to put the hitch back on this. I'll do that off camera. And I'm gonna warm it up real good, and I'll change the oil on it. I'll do that off camera as well. I'll probably come back to you when we're going to put the battery mount on this and put the hood on it. And like I said before, I'm going to leave the snowplow on this and the dual wheels on it. I think it's March 12th today. Yeah, I'll leave the plow on this and the dual wheels until the beginning of April on it, and then I'll put the brush hog on it, and we'll do some tests with it to see if anything's leaking. It's going to be the top end, I would say. Nothing leaks on the bottom here. So yeah, that's it for now. Well, I stand corrected. Check out this puddle. Oh boy. I tried to pull the tractor in. I backed it out, and then I saw this puddle here. I tried to pull it in somewhat exactly the way it was sitting, but it's not. So I'm not really sure if it could be the drain plug, the oil drain plug maybe. I don't know how far in I had it before, but everything under here is dry. I'm not seeing anything that could make a puddle like this. I ran my finger under where the drain plug is, and there was a blob of oil under there, but then I ran my finger under here, no blobs of oil. I don't love oil leaks, I'll tell you. So, alright, I'm going to back it out and do like I said I was going to do. I don't know. Now I don't know if I should put the tow hitch back on this thing or what. Just keep on checking for more stuff. This way I could get it outside and then we can jack it up and take it from there, and we'll see if we could see anything else. Okay, so I dropped the oil out of it. The oil's not too bad. Still has pretty good consistency. I don't know if I put 1030 in it. I don't remember what I put in it. But I'm going to add the 2050 to it. Okay, so I have the plate, the battery base plate that we're going to use in the hood that we're going to put on a 57 here. Okay, I came into another problem here. I noticed it the last time when I backed the tractor out. We have another oil leak on the 57, and it's coming towards the back. Because when I saw it the last time, I made sure that I wiped the oil up real good the last time, and then I checked, and it's coming from where the starter clutch is. So we have another problem going on now with the 57. So before we restore this, I'm gonna have to tackle the oil leak on it first. Alright, so I took some bolts. I took the battery out here off, because we're going to be using this plate here for the 73, and we'll use the hood that I think is right for the 73. The only problem is I have to drop the brush hog off, because I'm going to have to take this nut and bolt and spacer off here, so I could get the one bolt that holds the battery tray in out, so I can remove the battery tray. So I'll be back to you when we go to put the battery tray and the hood on the other tractor. Okay, so it's pretty hard to see here. This is the hitch, and then there's the one bolt's on this side and there was another one on the other side. So we put the tractor away the other day without the hitch on. I put these bolts back in, but these bolts are really long. This is a pretty thick hitch here. So I tightened up the bolts. Since the bolts are so long, I don't know if they seated into the differential. Now, I don't know if that would cause a leak. Alright? If the bolt didn't seat all the way in. Because the bottom bolt on the differential here, housing, is the bolt that you take out to change the oil. And I know that leaks oil out. That's how you drain the oil. I can't get under here right now, but I put the tractor on this plywood. It's been sitting here for about 5 hours now, and I haven't seen it drop. So we're going to go ahead and put everything away. Now I want to show you something on the 57 here. Okay, so I put the hood back on it. I put the battery tray back on it. The only thing I had to do with the battery tray is I used these J-hooks. So I had to drill a hole here and a hole back here to put the J-hooks on. So that's done, and I bolted the hood back on. Now the problem with this is the one with the generator here. I don't know if that's a regulator or whatever it was. I had to take it off. I took a picture of how the wiring went back on there and everything like that. I mean, whether the generator works or not, we're not using a 6-volt system. We're using a 12-volt. So whether it works or not, it's not going to work with the 12-volt system. I just wire tied these wires here. Like I said, I took a picture of the wiring and everything, so we know how it goes back together. Alright, so we have to figure out the oil leak is on this one next. It's coming from the back. when we restored this, I was telling you I want to paint it cherry red. I had a 1961 Gravely L. Yeah, it was an L that I bought in 1985, and I did a total restoration on that. And the first video I ever made was on that tractor. So I'm gonna pin it in the comments under part 1 of this video here, if anybody wants to see it. I like the cherry red. It really looked good. It popped nice. And that tractor also, I stripped it all down and everything, and I sold that tractor about 4 years ago. I think I made that video 5 years ago. This month is 5 years that I joined YouTube. To replace the 61, that's when I got the 67 and the 69 at the same time. And I'm sorry, excuse me. The reason why I wanted this one is this is an 8-speed as well. It's got the 2-speed differential. The Model L was just a 4-speed, which was fine for me. We never used low range when I'm plowing. It's always in high range, in high gear most likely. Once in a while I use low gear here. But the lower gears are good for if you're snow blowing or you're cutting real high grass. And it's got like a real slow granny gear on that. So I just wanted to point that out to you real quick. This started right up. I did the last time we started this was October, and now it's March. Started right up. It still got the old gas in it. Not much in there. Oh yeah, so as far as the 73 goes, I let that run, I don't know, about a half hour, 40 minutes like I normally do. And I shut it off, and that was 5 hours ago, and I don't see a drop under there. So it might have came out of the bolt hole there. I don't know. I know one thing though, that the oil was leaking out of the left side. I checked the make sure the axle seals were okay. They're okay. It's not the axle seal. I'm hoping it was just that bolt was too long and didn't seat into the differential. I'm hoping that. Looks like we got rid of the rear oil leak. It must have been possibly that 2-piece cover stud with the loose nut. Could have been that. I'm not really sure. Okay, I didn't get to do the hood on this yet, as you could see. I'm gonna have to change the battery tray. We'll have to change that out so we could bolt up what I think is the right hood for this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the pieces to this video together. I don't know how long it's going to be right now. If the video is going to be too long, we'll just do a part 3 on it, and I'll disassemble this and we'll put the hood on it. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, I'll let you know in the caption after I see how long this video is going to be. I'll let you know in the caption to stay tuned to part 3 on it. And I guess that's about it. I don't think there's anything more we have to talk about here. This one here, we're going to have to see what's going on with the oil leak. This 57 here. I don't know. That could be the crank seal too leaking. I'm not sure. When I got these tractors, I didn't have to do anything with rebuilding in the top end or anything like that. It was easy. They were both 57s that we got were really easy to get running and everything. We just did basic stuff like cleaned out the carburetor. One of these I had to reinstall the exhaust, or it was missing, but I had an exhaust for it. Yeah, it has got a new oil filter on it too, so we changed the oil on this. And I have to figure out how to mount that regulator or whatever that thing is. I think it's they might call it something different because it's a generator. I don't know. has to be mounted somewhere else. It can't go under the hood here. What else? There was something else maybe I wanted to tell you, but I don't remember right now. This battery was out of a Honda. My friend was using this on his Model A Ford, and he converted it back to 6 volt. So he gave me this battery here. I had to do the thing with the wood, and I got a video on this. I made this out of a snowplow wear bar that was worn out, and I just cut a couple of pieces off that to make the hold downs. And that's about it. Let me check this video over. And I'm sorry, the video's not really too exciting. It was a lot of talking. We're having a lot of trouble trying to figure out the oil leaks, you know. Oh, by the way, I changed the oil. I didn't change the filter. I don't think this tractor has, if it has 3 hours on it, it's a lot. Since I bought the tractor, I changed the oil. As I said before, when we did the engine rebuild and everything, and I put the other engine on here and we did that top end rebuild, I don't think I ever changed the oil again on it. So we know it's got good oil in it. I forgot to check the sit. Well, what happened was I had it running. After about 40 minutes, it ran out of gas. So I forgot to take a look at the oil pressure gauge to see if it went down into almost a low. That's normal. It's not like in the danger zone, you know. I've had them go down into the danger zone when they had like bad rings and stuff like that. So, all right. I could just keep on babbling all day long, so I'm going to let you all go. Thanks for watching. We might continue on this video. I'm not sure. Take care.